Welcome to our Thursday night live stream.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are two crazy ketos.
And if you're new to our channel, welcome. Here on Two Crazy Ketos, we do different things like recipe videos and we do product reviews. We talk about various keto topics, and then every Monday, we go live on Keto on the Couch. We just kind of talk about what's going on in our lives for the week.
You can find us in different social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
And we have a website, which is twocrazyketos.com, and that's where you're going to find all of our different recipes. Now, we do upload at least 5 new videos every single week, so make sure you subscribe to our channel.
And don't forget to hit the little bell icon, and that way every single time we upload a new video, you'll be alerted to it.
We still have a couple weeks. Uh-oh.
What are you doing?
This thing.
Do you even know?
Nope, we gotta fix
My
that.
better half right there.
There you go.
Is that us?
Nope, there
now
you go.
We're us and us.
Nope.
Test.
There you go.
What all is happening?
We're gonna just click on somebody here.
See if it comes up.
There you go. Debbie said,
Debbie.
hey there, 2KK
Hi,
peeps.
Debbie.
Got to get rid of that one little thing up there. So welcome to our live stream. There's always a technical issue. I don't know why the green screen went away, but it did.
That's okay. Everybody can see behind us. I put some Valentines up. I wrote up all of the, our immediate family on a heart. It was nice to just take a minute and think about some of the people in our family that we love, but there was...
Scoot over. The vacuum moved the camera.
There was a casualty to our Valentine set, and it was a big one, yo. So at our 10-year renewal vow ceremony, my friend had this little sign that they brought down the aisle that said, you know, happily ever after, ... again.
We should pause because you didn't know this was coming. It was a surprise from me.
Yes. He surprised me with a renewal vow ceremony.
Yes.
I came to a staff meeting at the old church offices, which was like a warehouse. It was crazy. And I walked in and it wasn't a staff meeting. It was pastor up at front and an aisle and everything.
Our first wedding was literally on the patio of the pastor's office with 4 people.
On a Thursday.
And our kids. That was it.
It was just us.
There was no big, giant ceremony or anything.
So it was this beautiful sign that I thought was written in a white Sharpie. But when I went to go dust this to put it on our set, I realized it was written in chalk. And I completely wiped it off. I am so sorry.
That's okay.
I am sorry. You make mistakes in love, don't ya? Oof.
Well, that kind of brings us to today's topic. So at the last minute, I changed the topic for our video instead of just saying answering your keto questions, which is what we're going to do. But I have something I want to kind of talk about. And, you know, first of all, if you're new to our channel, welcome.
Yes, welcome.
We do these live streams every single Thursday night at 8:30 p.m. It's kind of like the family get-together. We love to answer questions. We try to get to comments, but heck, if we got to all the comments, we'd be here for 5 hours.
We don't want to do that to you.
And we can easily do that. We've proven that. We live stream for 11 straight hours on November 11th. So
these people
we can talk. So if you have a question you really want us to answer, go ahead and use the super chat function down below. If you get a lot out of our channel, please consider hitting a little join button down there, becoming a channel member, or supporting us over on Patreon.
Oh my gosh, so Shauna, who is the most crafty person ever,
this is why we get off behind now,
I know, but it's so sweet because she says, if you can, tell me what the letters are, I can put them in a white vinyl for this sign. Thank you so much.
Okay, so what I wanted to talk about, we've been vlogging for the last 2 days, and I meant to bring it up in the topic of the vlog because Autumn kind of mentioned something about being happy.
From Watch Autumn Keto.
From Watch Autumn Keto during her morning live stream yesterday.
She's awesome. If you're not subscribed yet, you got to.
Yep. So Rachel and I were talking earlier, and she was talking about that renewal vow day.
Yeah.
And she was like, I look at myself there, and I was skinnier.
Yeah.
And what do I need to do to get back there? And thank you very much, Marianne, for becoming a channel member.
Marianne.
That is much appreciated. So what I started talking to her about is, listen, Rachel just celebrated her 4-year keto-versary.
Thank you. Happy anniversary to me.
And I'm getting ready to celebrate 5 years. And So we were talking about over the course of all of these years, and really over the course of our entire marriage and beyond, we always did a lot of yo-yo, right? You go up, you go down, you go up, you go down, you go up, and you go down. And the same thing on keto. We got down to a weight, and then by the end of the year, you've put 10 pounds back on, and then come January, you lose weight.
Don't even talk about 2020.
And we go through all of this every single year, and it's funny because we've talked about, we always do a fast for God in January, but we always know in the back of our mind, because we're doing that fast for God at the end of January, we're going to be skinnier. And that was one of the reasons this year we decided to change it up, do beef, butter, bacon, egg, and we're not going to count anything. We don't care about anything because we really want to just give something up, and that's why we did no measurements or anything like that for our January challenge for ourselves. And so what I said to Rachel was, this is the first time in our marriage, but the first time on keto, where you have maintained your weight for 6 months. She has not gone up 1 pound.
I can't.
You know, maybe the daily fluctuation because of electrolytes and inflammation or something like that. But she's the same weight now that she was back in September. And the difference is, she's not always in a bad mood. She's not constantly dieting.
I'm not beating you off camera.
But you're happy
with myself,
with where you are at.
Yeah.
That you're satiated. You've gotten in touch with your hunger hormones.
Yes.
You've gotten in touch with what satiation is. For the first time in our marriage, you can walk away from a plate of food, whereas before you had to clean the plate, lick the plate, and then look and see, is there anything that I didn't finish?
It is amazing that I almost, I caught myself in a moment, and I'm so glad that I have you, that I have the community for us to be able to talk about these things, because I haven't been worrying and stressing about this kind of thing. And it's like, you're like, wait, isn't this about the time that I should be freaking out and somehow restricting myself or depriving myself in some place?
What did I eat that made me gain weight? Was it keto chow? Was it that we did a review of a product and now I'm up 5 pounds? I had a dessert. Oh, I shouldn't have had that.
It still feels abnormal to maintain success for me.
Right.
It still is weird.
And so what we started talking about was, she was like, well, what do I have to do to get back to my weight? And I'm like, I think you look great right where you're at right now.
Well, thank you, Valentine.
If you want to get back down to that weight, we can do that. But here's the thing. For 6 months, you have maintained without counting a thing.
Yeah, just eating the right food.
And I'm like, if we really evaluated everything that you're eating, I can pretty much, and I started looking in Chronometer, I can pretty much guarantee you, you're eating the protein to fat to maintain your weight of around 150 pounds.
Yeah.
And so if you want to get to 140, we can dial it back. But will you be happy?
Right.
And I said, what I would like to see you do is spend a couple months and enjoy where you're at. Kim Howerton talked to us about this in Omaha. We get diet fatigue. If you're dieting all year long, you get diet fatigue.
Yeah.
And now you're angry. And so I said, I think you should spend a couple more months. You just came off of a challenge of beef, butter, bacon, and egg. 1 month where we didn't really do anything, and then another challenge of beef, butter, bacon, and egg. Let's spend a month or two just enjoying where you're at, being happy,
not
and then
being
maybe doing a little bit of a cut in a couple of months.
Not being angry with myself.
But be happy with where you're at.
It feels strange that is a revolutionary concept. But what if we are just going to be happy for a minute, right? It's crazy. We're eating the right food. We're maintaining good success.
Even if you have a dessert.
But even when you reach a place of success, if we don't start to really love ourselves, if we don't start talking nicely to ourselves, even when we achieve the success we've been trying for 4 years in my case, you still won't be happy, right? So I appreciate the mental check.
Tim, thank you very much for becoming a channel member. So I want you to focus on that.
There's a cat right there.
I'd like you to focus for the next 45 to 60 days on being happy with where you're at.
Man.
And that's a challenge.
That's a commitment for me. Be happy.
If you've been dieting, if you've been trying to lose weight on keto for a while, and maybe you're just maintaining, you're like, I'm at a plateau. I'd like to see you just be happy for a couple months. Not worry about it. Eat till you're satiated, the appropriate foods.
Right.
But eat till you're satiated and just take a minute to step back, realize where you came from, and be happy there. And then maybe in a little while, do a cut.
I think you may have already gotten me my Valentine's present by just encouraging me.
So I don't have to go shopping now?
Don't go crazy, because the last time I told you don't get me anything, that was a lie. That was a trap. Like Admiral Akbar. Like, it's a trap.
Rhonda, thank you very much for the $5 super chat. Said, good evening, family. So mad. Now I'm hooked. I ordered Redmond Hickory and Chef's Blend and Electrolytes. I opened it, tasted it, and ordered more. OMG.
It's crazy good, right? Like, you don't realize that the slow process that they take of combining that wood and salt makes such a depth of flavor.
Yeah. Shauna said, I'm kind of not here. I'm voice texting from my car.
Oh, how cool.
Okay, so before we get into the chat, we're going to get into the chat right now. Couple little housekeeping things. Number one, if you didn't know this, but we did a video the other day reviewing this, black and red licorice.
And licorice. No, it's red licorice.
And so we have a couple we're going to give away throughout the live stream tonight. We don't have a lot because I don't have a lot of it. So we're going to give 2 different people a chocolate, because I have lots of chocolate, a black licorice, and a red licorice.
And let us know how it tastes. What do you think?
We will pick from the chat throughout the night, so make sure you're active in the chat.
Do you think it is as strangely addictive as we do?
Yes.
Because it's messed with the entire family, I'll have you know. The red licorice has got everybody scratching their heads and going back for more.
So I wanted to mention something. So tonight we decided to do something different for dinner. Beef, butter, bacon, and egg. The other day, we went out with Anthony DiPetrillo, one of our subscribers. And
Anthony's there. Hi, Anthony.
We broke our beef, butter, bacon, and egg with going to Buffalo Wild Wings. Spent almost 3 hours hanging out. So much fun hanging out with Anthony. What an awesome guy.
He's the coolest.
But I will give you a word of advice. You'll see it in the vlog that's coming out in the next day or two. If you do beef, butter, bacon, and eggs for 30 days, don't break beef, butter, bacon, and eggs with spicy garlic Buffalo Wild Wings.
I didn't have a problem.
You didn't eat as many of the spicy garlic ones as I did. All I can say is...
bathroom pyrotechnics.
7 trips to the bathroom within 3 hours in the morning. And it was burning more going out than it did come in.
Wow, that's a lot. That's sharing a lot. Wow. Okay.
I wasn't used to all the spice. But, so tonight we decided, what can we do at home that's different?
Yeah.
Rachel's been itching for some shrimp.
Scratch that itch, Joe.
So I was like, I don't know. I don't want just shrimp.
He's not as big of a seafood guy as me.
I love shrimp, but again, super high in protein, very, very low in fat, and I'm trying to keep it more one-to-one. So I decided to come up with a jambalaya. I used to love jambalaya. Pre-keto. I've made it a couple times, but there was always something missing. And what was always missing was jambalaya should be served over rice or pasta. So I decided to make Steve from Serious Keto's chicken noodles.
Wow. What have we been doing with our time, and why didn't we make this sooner?
Take a look. This was our dinner.
Oh my gosh, it was so freaking
Flavor
good.
packed. And those noodles,
they were
spot on. They don't taste
on.
like chicken. They had an amazing texture. It added everything that I wanted my jambalaya to be.
Yeah.
And so we're really excited. That's going to be featured in a vlog. I've already put the recipe on the website. I have not yet made it on a page, but I've entered everything in there.
Now for his noodles, you have to go watch Steve's
I left a link for that video down below.
Worth the making.
He was inspired by Keto Asian flavors, but again, the only thing that's in it is chicken. Chicken, a little bit of xanthan gum, and then the stuff
Science
to make
stuff.
it. But that basically makes it less than 1 carb for a serving. I mean, and lots of protein.
It was so stinking delicious. And I gotta tell you, I mean, especially now, it's not cold here like it is in so many other precious states and places around the world right now. Today. I mean, we have nothing to complain about. Now, tomorrow I will be in Quincy, Florida, up around the Panhandle with Michelle and our grandpuppy Jenny, allowing her to do some like bird hunting and training for what she likes to do. And so it's supposed to be like super cold. So I've packed for that. But that meal tonight was so comforting and heartwarming and like just everything you want on a cold day.
Yeah.
Right? It's so hard.
Yeah, I texted Steve and I'm like, Steve, game changer.
You nailed it, dude.
Game changer. It was awesome. And we spent some time talking. We were geeking out about the Innova Precision Oven and yeah, you couldn't shut the two of us up. We were going, Rachel's like, what are you doing? You have a live stream to prepare for. I'm like, I'm talking to my buddy here.
I know, he's the coolest.
We've got some collaborations coming up. I'm excited about
I'm excited.
That. So Janet said, that was me. I got fed up with yo-yos.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Like it's weird that it's almost like, you know, when you quit something like biting my nails. I don't bite my nails anymore. I've popped off my fake ones. I've got to get those redone, but might as well wait until we get back from the hunting excursion, right? But you still have the behavior sensation.
Right.
Same thing for like if you used to smoke and you're just used to that like hand to mouth,
right, you
know, movement. I feel like I've let go of the dieting, but the behavior, the process of like, should I be angry with myself? It seems like I haven't been ticked off with myself in the last 2 or 3 months. And this is usually a seasonal thing, right? Like every couple of months, you're supposed to be mad and angry and thinking, how can I be like mean to myself right now? And it feels abnormal if I'm just enjoying my life, right? So I'm thankful for that. Just like reminder, why do you want to go back to even the thought process that went?
We have to learn to be happy where we're at.
Yeah.
So he said, Joe, the beatings will continue until morale improves.
That's exactly right. I feel like that's so true.
Chris said, for the first time in who knows how many years, Rachel isn't a raging maniac.
Like,
and I know it seems weird. Like Angie said, Rachel in a bad mood? No way. Rachel would have some angry food days. Like you talk about hangry, she would have that. I mean, we don't really fight, but there would be days she was like, I need food. Like she would come home and the food better be on the table when I walk in the door. If not, I'm going to have to stop at McDonald's and get like 5 cheeseburgers.
That was definitely before we did beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, and I was eating to a clock. When I was eating an intermittent fasting until 2 p.m., where I was only drinking black coffee and then not eating until 2 o'clock, if something distracted him and he did not like have a meal by 2 o'clock, because back then we weren't eating breakfast.
Right.
That was like Christmas morning, you get breakfast. You know, now you see us eat breakfast all the time. But back then I thought, okay, still starving myself mostly is the key to success.
Right.
So he might get distracted and we don't get, dinner until 4 o'clock. Well, I want to eat dinner at 2 o'clock.
Right.
So you better have that food ready or I'm going to freak out.
Tracy said, Rachel, you look fabulous.
Thanks, Tracy.
Cool Kid Keto said, we made a shake but added creamy root beer Zevia. It was amazing, but really we also had been on strict BBBE all month, and that was our first sweet treat. You want something good, creamy, root beer float keto chow as an ice cream, and then pour creamy root beer Zevia on top of it. I
second that emotion, and y'all know how I feel about root beer keto chow, but with the creamy.
Yep, Denise said, I don't like counting.
I'm thankful, but sometimes it's like a ghost arm. It's like, I feel like, don't I have my like panic appendage?
Ben said, I still see myself as heavy and I can lose more, but so much better than before. And see, now that is actually something we were talking to Anthony about, and that's something that we have in common.
Yeah.
And that is that if you look at my skinniest pictures when I was 182 pounds, okay, so now I'm about 8 pounds away from that. I, at that time, thought I was super fat. Yeah. I remember people telling me that I looked like sickly thin. And I would look at them and go, what are you talking about? I need to lose like 20 more pounds. Don't you see all this fat? And I would look in the mirror and still see the 300-pound Joe. Now I can go back and look at some of those pictures, and Rachel and I were actually talking about a picture that I took of a kid from our church. We were at a wedding, and I was holding him up. He's one of the pastor's sons, and I was holding him up, and I can look back now and go, yeah, I looked a little sick, as thin as I was. And, I was wearing a size 28 pants, and that's not how I felt then. And it's only in the last month or so where I can look in the mirror. I'm like, you know what? I don't look bad.
Yeah.
I finally can look in that mirror, but it's taken 5 years to look at my going like, okay, you're not 300 pounds anymore.
It's interesting how healing occurs. We experienced weight loss, we've had healing in our body, then we've had healing in our relationship with food, and it feels like the final chapter in healing is going to be how we see ourselves and our relationship with ourselves.
Yep.
But I'm thankful for the opportunity to tackle that. I'm not afraid of dealing with that. And there's probably still some, frightening things we're going to face as we deal with that. But I'm ready for it.
Lady Smith wants to know, how tall are you?
Me?
Yep.
5'7" and a half. I want my half.
Janet said, I've been real low on carbs, so I haven't counted. Been mostly carnivore.
It's very relieving to know that, okay, if I keep my total carbs low, I really don't have to worry about stuff so much. That really has been an encouragement to me. And it's allowed me to let go of some things because it's I don't want to be bothered counting that. So I'm just not going to eat it.
Caitlin said, I thought I maintained over last year, but Chronometer shows that I've lost 14.2 pounds in the last 6 months.
Wow. Carolyn, that's amazing.
Carrie said, I could tell Rachel some egg jokes to crack her up.
Thanks, Carrie. I count on you for the laughs. I appreciate that.
Renee said, my pups have their fleece lined coats on and are crazy race hounds when we go outside.
I bet. I was actually thinking about your puppies the other day because we had a cold snap and Jenny was shaking when we were getting her out of the water. And I thought, oh my goodness, greyhounds, that has got to be really cold for them when we get winter months and it's they've got nothing, they're tiny already and no big fur, to cover it up.
Chris said, I got Miriam a Valentine me gift already. She told me exactly what to buy. Here's the thing.
Smart woman.
I don't need to buy Valentine's gifts because 15 years ago, Rachel told me, I think Valentine's Day is silly and you never have to buy me a Valentine's Day gift.
And he actually went through with that 1 year and then never again. Oh my goodness.
LaShawna got their shot assault today.
How fun.
So did Jerry. I haven't gotten mine yet. Tracy said, keto carnivore is easier to me, not having to count anything and worry about all of that. Just eat to satiety.
It's a game changer, right? It's worth it.
Oh, here's Kevin.
Hey, Kevin.
I'm Anthony's Kevin. Welcome, Kevin.
Oh, Kevin, hi. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm excited. We're all going out to eat soon, I'm hoping.
Yep.
Double date.
Nana's here, said, good evening, everyone in bad weather. Stay safe.
Yes. I hope everybody is bundling up and staying home if they don't need to go out. LaShawn is interesting because I met a LaShawn who is a neighbor of ours this morning.
Danita, thank you very much for the lemon character doing shoulder shiny dance moves,
Shimmy.
Which is just a super sticker.
It's
Thank
super
you
cute.
very much.
So I met LaShawn this morning and he was talking about how he is from New York originally and how his family has been trying to get him to come home. And he's like, I will see you in the summer. I'm not coming up right now. It's too cold. But for work, he's going to have to travel to Chicago next week. And he said, I Uber as much as I possibly can when I'm out because I'm no longer used to traveling and I want to not be behind the wheel of a car in these winter storms as much as possible. And I thought that was really smart because, even for you used to, drive all the time in cold weather states, but it's been a while, right? So if you can avoid it, you want to.
Absolutely. Amanda said, I had a New York strip sous vide with a cast iron pan sear, finished with hickory smoke salt. Holy cow, How
Holy
delish.
cow.
Yes. I mean, there's no better way to have a steak than sous vide. There's just not. I mean, I can cook it pretty much any way. You're never going to beat a sous vide steak and then finishing it off in a cast iron. And it's funny, I was texting with Steve and we were talking about the video that I did where I compared cooking in a sous vide immersion to cooking in the oven. I'm like, the steaks were identical, and to me, the oven wins because I don't need a water bath. It was faster. I don't have to put it in a bag. And I'm like, and I don't have to put it in a cast iron pan to sear. And he's like, I'm going to pretend you just didn't say that about cast iron. And I was like, I love cast iron, but if you're in a hurry, you don't want to smoke up your house and all that. But yeah, that cast iron sear.
So LaShawn in here is actually from New York also.
Oh, wow.
How cool is that?
Let's go ahead and get
Did I meet you this morning?
You ready?
Yeah.
You got something to write this down?
Oh, yes, I do.
There you go. So
All
a chocolate,
right.
a black licorice, and a red licorice. We only have 2 of these. So
all right, here we go.
the winner is Denise Holmes.
Yay, Denise.
So Denise, you won this.
Yay.
All you have to do is send me an email at joe@twocrazyketos.com with all your shipping information if you don't want it, because maybe either you don't like licorice or you already have a bunch. Just let us know in the chat and we can pick somebody else.
I still think that you should get it if for no other reason but that you get somebody else with it.
M Academy said, can't wait to try the licorice keto chow. I've been missing licorice candy on keto.
This is accurate. And you know what is nice about it? And even Joe will tell you, he keeps going back for black licorice also, even though he's not a huge black licorice fan. However, it's a nice sweetness to it. It's not just like it's a punch in the face, bitter licorice with nothing sweet around it. It's
Devin
nice.
said, I've been MIA for a while, seeing so many new things from Keto Chow. Gotta catch a live soon.
Yay.
What's the deal with the electrolyte tablets? Very intrigued. The electrolyte tablets are basically electrolytes in a tablet form. Chris could tell you more about it. Honestly, we don't use them, but we don't use them because it is so humid here. And I don't remember the term. I'm sure Chris will put it in the chat. But what happens is they basically absorb all the water and turn to powder in our house.
Right.
So
We
so
usually
for
use
us,
the drops.
we don't use them. We just use the drops, but they are great and they're super convenient.
It was funny. So Michelle was like, bring the drops with you, because we're traveling together, and she loves Redmond Relight too, but also the Keto Chow drops herself, and she's been trying to make sure that she stays with all of her electrolytes. And so she's like, make sure we pack a bunch of electrolytes with us. And I thought, that is so great that I've got kids that are concerned about electrolytes.
Oh, Ready Set Keto is here and said, has anybody had the Redmond's electrolytes? I was just watching your video on you starting the beef butter bacon and egg challenge.
Welcome.
Welcome. So we love Redmond electrolytes.
Yeah.
So pretty much every day we do a combination of Redmond electrolytes and Keto Chow drops. The drops just go in everything, like every liquid we drink. We started putting the Keto Chow daily minerals into our seltzer water, and it pretty much makes it just like a San Pellegrino. And then the Redmond electrolytes, I like them because they have a good taste. They have a lot of flavors. They're really good ingredients. They're not adding a whole bunch of citric acid and stuff to them. And you're getting the perfect balance of the amount of sodium, potassium, and magnesium you need. Because you don't want to just do, like, there's a certain powder out there that's just potassium. But if you're doing a lot of potassium and just drinking that because you like the taste of it, but your sodium or your magnesium is off, that could create problems. So you really want to be taking in the appropriate amount in the appropriate ratios. That's why we like the Keto Chow drops, and that's why we like Redmond.
Denise says, my husband is stuck in Memphis due to the storm. I'm so sorry. I hope he's home soon.
Okay, so Wilma said cooked a beef bottom round roast in a slow cooker, put Redmond's garlic pepper on it, a little beef bone broth. It was so good.
I love the slow cooker.
Yeah. Robin said, I've seen several reviews of the licorice flavors. Everybody says about the black. And again, I hate black.
I mean, we've been talking about how much he hates black licorice.
And Steve was the same thing. It's like it grows on you, and I keep wanting to drink it. It's because it's something about the milk. That's what it is. It's the milk protein that just takes the bitterness off of it.
Am I blocking you?
Let's see. Wilma said, I have the 22-inch Blackstone with the wheeled cart that you talked about earlier, and I love it. I use it all the time. I love you guys.
I am so glad that you are enjoying it. My mom, we got her like the one for the countertop, and she was like, I did not think I would use it as much as I do, but it's just so convenient, right? And so easy to clean, which is nice.
Ben said, I've got licorice soap. Sounds weird, but it's still good.
Really? Soap? So does it, like, it smells like licorice when you put it on? How cool.
Lisa said I had leftover chicken gizzards and gravy with some scrambled eggs topped with some jalapenos for dinner.
Nobody makes chicken gizzards look more beautiful than when Lisa prepares them. I mean, anything that Lisa makes is like artwork. It's so gorgeous. But when I'm thinking I need to get some chicken gizzards anytime I see her make it because it's just gorgeous.
Brenda said, ooh, Joe in the bathroom.
I know.
Details.
We just have no filter.
Destiny said, my wife is sad because we didn't get the confetti when we joined. Can you throw some now? Yeah, unfortunately, I'm still figuring out this thing.
I need to keep confetti around. How do I not have confetti around in my life?
How do I do that? I don't even know how to do it. It was supposed to do it. And the guy told me it's still like a work in progress.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry for that.
We'll keep working at it.
Let me see if I can hit edit and then this.
Oh, Lord, please.
And then hit this.
Let's see. Can it do it? There we go. There you go. Thank you.
So it's supposed to do it automatically when I hit certain chats, but he said it's still a work in progress. This program that I'm using is like still a beta. So I'm working on it, and it was actually a complaint that I sent to him that it does that.
We need more confetti, okay? You've seen Rachel, right? She's gluing glitter to her face at this point.
Yeah, I started using this program called H2R Graphics, which is completely free, and it allows me to put all this chat and stuff in here. Okay, so, it pushed me behind when I went back over.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, there's Lisa's comment.
Yay!
Okay. Anthony said I had terrible heartburn after the wings, but it was totally worth it.
Oh my gosh, yes. I mean, it was just good having it, and I honestly was so thankful we were with Anthony because I had somebody, like we could talk together and say like, I'm so glad that we can have chicken. Because of course, the waiter can't understand why we're just so excited to see any other protein other than beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, right? But we were like, oh, chicken.
Let's see. Randy said I broke beef, butter, bacon, egg with a New York steak and a Butterfinger keto chat.
What about your daughter? What did she break it with?
K-Sam said, first time in the chat, big step for an introvert. Welcome.
I'm so glad you're here. Don't be shy. Jump on in.
This is a family.
Yeah.
So, yes. Brandon said, I love those chicken noodles. Yeah, they were really, really
amazing.
Good.
Did you feel like they were challenging to make, or they're
super easy to make? You just need the ingredients and patience. And now I'm
out of that.
Well, the patience is because you're going to put it in a bottle and you got to
have some patience.
You've got to be twirling and squeezing. And the bottle that I have has a very small tip. I should have cut a bigger thing. So my noodles came more out like angel hair pasta.
Okay.
I used to have a triple head one, which would get it done much faster, and I can't find the triple head that goes on the top of it.
I don't know if I can twirl and squeeze. I can bend and snap. If that can help, I can bend and snap.
Priscilla said hello from a very dry and chilly Arizona. It's my second time making a live chat.
Well, we're glad you're here, Priscilla.
Jerry said I make a killer jambalaya. Rice cauliflower is an option, but not quite the same as rice, but tasty nonetheless.
So true.
Yeah, and I'm not a huge rice cauliflower fan because it's not rice. And so, I'd rather just eat the cauliflower.
Right. Well, what I do like about having something to put jambalaya over is there's so much flavors, and I want to sop it all up. And I will say that, and I'm sure the cauliflower rice does the same thing, the noodles help to like sop up all of that flavor because the broth is so like flavor packed because you've got sausage and shrimp and you've got chicken. It's just really good.
Yeah. Blue Dove, thank you for being a channel member for 4 months.
Thanks, Blue
Said,
Dove.
I'm on my first ever extended fast, 26 hours
Way
in.
to go, Idaho.
Lisa said that jambalaya looks delicious. I haven't had it in a long time. Can't wait for the recipe. The recipe will be on the website by tomorrow. I just have to create the page. I put it into my recipe program, but I actually have to create a post for it.
And it goes into Chronometer, right? You can move it into Chronometer.
It is actually already in Chronometer.
Ooh.
S. McCabe said, what happened with the mice? They
Thanks
stay
for
away
asking.
from the traps with people or dead mice smell. Hope cute chickens are good.
Thank you.
I still have not killed a mouse. But I
haven't
also
seen
don't
anymore.
smell any rat urine in there or mouse urine in there anymore. And what listen,
Celebration.
What I do is I go out in the middle of the night, like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I would open up the door and they'd all be scurrying around. And I haven't had that in a week. So I think what happened was I did put along the rafters, because again, we have to keep the rafters open because I store gas in there sometimes. And so I put chicken wire along all the rafters so they can't climb up inside and I can still have venting, and I must have locked them out.
Yeah.
So now I just need to clean everything out so I can get all the mouse poop off the floor.
We have strange chores.
We really do. Rhonda said Keto Village Keto Chow noodles are
Yes.
fantastic. Believe me. Yes, we did a video on them. We actually made them on a vlog.
And it was the same procedure with different
Same thing, except for
ingredients.
what I loved about this was it was just canned chicken. It was just canned chicken and water.
The cats were happy about it too because they got the rest of the can of chicken.
Michelle said I'm on a 72-hour fast. I'm doing so. I'm going to keep going for a bit longer.
Way to go.
Okay, Destiny said, any tips for someone who is trying not to lose any more weight? Up your fuel. And I know, it sounds really weird, right? So you're going to up your fuel. So what do we mean by fuel? So you want to make sure you're getting your protein in. So don't lower your protein. So it's okay to get a little bit more protein, but you don't want to get a lot less protein. So, but up your fuel. Your fuel consists of fat and carbohydrates. So if, for example, let's say you're at 130 pounds and you're eating close to 130 pounds of fat and carbohydrates combined, start upping it a little bit. Now, I would up it.
Not the carbs.
25 to 50 calories worth per week. So what does that mean? You think about that every gram of fat is 9 calories. So maybe this week, up your fat intake by 5 to 8 grams, 5 to 10 grams. Do that for a week. Then the following week, you're going to up it again. And you're going to keep going until you maintain. Then when you maintain, that's where you're at.
Yeah.
So if you go a whole bunch, if you're eating 130 grams of fat, now all of a sudden you go to 250 grams of fat, guess what? You're probably going to gain weight.
Yeah.
So you want to do it slow. That's what Robert Sykes calls a reverse diet. We're going to reverse our way back up. And that will actually probably end up you being able to eat even more because your metabolism will slowly ramp up as you slowly add more fuel back into your diet. Tracy said, I made spaghetti and meatballs last Monday. Those carnivore noodles are amazing. Y'all have to try them.
So good.
Let's see. LaShawn said it was in the low 60s in Arizona. Cold this morning.
Wow. I mean, I think a lot of places are getting some extreme temperatures we're not used to.
Julie said, good reminder about the shrimp. My February commitment is to lower fat for 3 days a week.
How cool. Yeah, seafood
Make
is
sure
great.
you're still getting some fat in, okay? Don't cut your fat way, way down. You still should be getting 50 or 60 grams of fat.
I did tell Michelle that, because she's like, what do you think we'll want to, eat? And I'm like, I like seafood if you like seafood, because Joe is not normally a seafood guy. So if we can work a little seafood in while we're in the panhandle, it would not hurt my feelings.
Yep. Denise, she said, I eat because I'm bored.
So we got to find something else to do with your boredom.
We talked about in the vlog the other day.
Yeah, that it's like boredom will happen, stress will happen. We're going to talk about that in Fearless Friday tomorrow, is what it's all about, is not getting upset with ourselves because we experience these things. It's very natural that we're going to have times in our week or in our life that we are either stressed or we are bored, we need something to do. I mean, it naturally happens. What happens when you get locked in the house because it's snowing outside for days? I mean, that's our mother-in-law, my mother-in-law, your mother, and my sister-in-law are experiencing that in the Catskills in New York, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, they're pretty much snowed in. So you can turn to food as just something to do. So what we have to do is find something new to do to fill that time.
Speaking of which, Sandra said, I'm 66-year-old and I still bite my nails. I've tried Soto to quit.
Yeah, it really took getting pretty nails on the regular for me to quit because I'm very cheap. As like thrifty, you like to say thrifty. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty honest. I'm cheap. I'm a cheap person. So I'm not going to ruin nails if I paid money for them. So so that's helped me to not bite my nails.
Teresa said, I've really discovered some behaviors like the anger one that is just shocking to me. People have even commented on it.
I am rarely angry at other people. I'm usually angry at myself. I'm really, really great at being my own worst enemy, and I'm working on that.
So Anthony said, Joe, by the way, pronouncing my last name correctly. I had teachers that couldn't do that. It was mad impressive.
Yeah, aw, that's awesome. Because we usually stink. I mean, you've heard us read ingredients. We usually get it wrong.
Joanna said, my sister used to get hangry as a child. Her son used to tell her, Mom, get something to eat. You're getting angry. He was seven at the time.
But they recognize it, right? Like, absolutely. They don't miss that.
Let's see. Angie said, I still do not believe you, Joe. Rachel, we know you're always happy.
Angie, bless your heart. This man has had to deal with a lot.
Lisa said, I've noticed that if I fast all day, I'm a bit more hangry. But if I do 2 meals a day, I don't eat as much.
You know, breakfast solved a lot of things. The getting over the hump of me able to have breakfast. I'm sorry, I'm like super stumbling over my words tonight. Has really made a difference. And I have to give a shout out to Steve from Keto Chow because he loves breakfast. That guy loves breakfast, right? Mm-hmm. And there was something about, he was just so nonchalant about like, I like breakfast too. You can have breakfast. And I was like, wow, okay, I can. Let's do it. Let's have breakfast.
Robin said, changing our self-view is hard.
It really is. Because I've been 45 years this way.
Lisa said, I can relate. My pics from when I was young make me realize that I was in decent shape back then. Never thought so at that time.
Yeah.
Let's see. Lori said, I can't wait to get black licorice pre-order in Canada and mix the orange for tiger ice cream.
Oh, how interesting. I have never even heard of tiger ice cream before. That sounds really neat.
Lisa said, I'm with you, Joe. I've lost over 100 pounds, but I still look at myself as a big girl. It's hard to overcome the self-esteem from that.
Lisa, I wish that you could see what we see because you are so gorgeous. Yep. Such a beautiful young lady.
Sharon said, emotional healing is just as important as the physical.
It really is. This is the year that we start really digging into that, I think.
Paula said, I'm not counting anything. I'm just eating keto and goal is not overeating. So far, so good.
That's so fantastic.
Now, the one thing I will say, and we are all for not counting, so long as you're eating whole foods.
Yeah.
But if you start adding in a lot of keto treats and stuff, please count your carbs. If you count nothing else, count your carbs. I'm always going to tell you, if you want to do net carbs, fine, do net carbs. But eventually you're going to have to switch over to some type of total carbs, but always have a total carb cap so that you're not overeating all of the keto snacks.
Yeah.
So, and it's amazing. You can still have something. You can still have a Nola bar. You can still have a lot of things, but you can't have 5. And that's the difference, because eventually if you're eating, 200 total carbs, but you've got it under 20 net carbs, which I can absolutely do.
I can.
It will backfire on you eventually. Maybe not in the beginning, but eventually it will backfire.
Yeah, so we only say that because we don't want you to cheat yourself. We've cheated ourselves from success in the past by just practicing a net carb protocol without a total carb cap. And we don't want you to make the same mistake we did.
Lori said, sometimes in our heads, we still think of ourselves as heavy. Mm-hmm. Diana said, I have 50 pounds to lose, and you two are helping me to do just that.
Wow, thank Thanks, Diana.
Jason is here and said bodies will always settle where they are the healthiest if you just stay on plan. That is always hard to accept.
Because we've just been in this race for so long. I mean, it's just been I think I've been dieting since third grade.
Right.
Third grade. My gracious.
And that's why I want you to take a couple months to just...
I have children that have graduated from college at this point, you know, like, and I've been dieting for that long. So of course it feels natural to be upset with myself.
Suzanne said, I really struggle with feeling fat even though I weigh 158 pounds. My goal is 135 and it feels like so far away.
Let's love ourselves right now, Suzanne. We have done incredible, right? We're amazing. So we'll be happy right now and we'll get there.
Denise said, maybe I need to do carnivore so I don't have to count.
It's pretty fun.
You don't have to do carnivore, okay? And that's, carnivore is great. It's not sustainable for me, okay? For me, I like little stints like beef, butter, bacon, and egg, but for me, it's not sustainable. For some people, it's sustainable. Yeah. Dr. Sean Baker, he's amazing.
He's amazing.
But for me, it's not sustainable. And the most important thing is to do what's sustainable for you.
Right.
I look at like Nisha Berry. Nisha Berry is like ketovore. She likes to have a little bit of sweetener here and there, but she eats mostly meat. The key is to eat whole foods. I'm not going to say not processed because even meat is processed food.
You're not eating it directly off of the cow.
If you want to have some kind of a keto treat, make it just that, a treat.
Right.
Not an everyday thing. Dessert every day is not mandatory. Eating a Nola bar or a Mallow Munch bar or a homemade mug cake is not mandatory every day. Make it a treat, and even if you are gonna have something every day, you get one, not
Come on,
a bunch of Chalk Zero at lunch and a Nola bar at dinner, and then some Rebel ice cream for dessert. That is not gonna help. But if you want to just do ketovore, yeah, you don't have to really count much. But the more of the outside stuff you start adding in, the more you're going to have to count things.
I see Lisa said, if I get snacky, I'll eat a boiled egg or pork rinds.
Perfect.
And that's kind of where I started changing my snacks. In the past, if I got a snack, it was usually nuts. It was usually some cheese cubes, that sort of thing, because it was also keto. But I feel like I have more success when I reach for meat even as an in-between snack. Right. If I'm just like, I want something, a boiled egg, having those in the refrigerators really helped. Purse bacon that's already cooked and ready to go, a hot dog, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Liz said, counting fatigue on Weight Watchers made me open to trying keto. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Angie said, I've been keto for 3 to 4 years, and it was 2 crazy ketos that I found first, and I have been watching ever since.
I love you, so Angie. Thank you so much.
Rickwin said, I still have a dress left over from my pre-keto days, and I tried it on the other night. OMG, it hung on me, and the hem has dropped to the floor. It was a way to improve my feelings about not losing.
I am so glad that you did that. I think it's probably time for me to...
Oh my gosh, we're like an hour behind on comments.
Put on my one shirt. That always helps me remind myself of where I've come from. I kept one shirt from pre-keto days just to keep like that victory in my mind.
Lisa said, my son called off of work today. I'm so glad he did. So I didn't have to go out into the snowy, icy mess that's outside.
You are the bestest mom in the whole world. Do you know that? Like, you are so precious.
Brian said, I made a round roast in the oven this week, and we went ahead and added some of the Redmond hickory smoked salt, and just, oh my gosh. So
I'm so glad.
Good.
We have even sprinkled it over like a chicken that we've gotten from Publix, just to like add a little extra depth of flavor. Even making chicken breast at home. Sometimes you're like, gosh, the chicken breast, I just want a little flavor. The Redmond smoked salt is so good on it.
Sharon said, I lost 65 pounds since last May 2021, but I got stuck since Christmas since recovering from COVID. Staying mostly carnivore now, feel like my body is changing, but why do I need the scale to see success? That's an issue that we all have. I mean, we all, we put our worth into that number, and that is why even though a lot of people don't like it, we tell you, please stay off of the scale. If you're eating appropriately, stay off of the scale. If you have a bad relationship with that scale, stay off of the scale. Use pictures. You don't use the mirror, because the mirror is a liar.
Yeah.
Use pictures, use measurements, but don't use the scale and don't use the mirror, because they're both going to lie to you.
Yeah, and for some people, when we talk about like the commitment challenge, maybe the commitment you need to make to yourself is, I'm going to stay off the scale this month, and that is my commitment to trusting the process, and that's really hard.
Brian said, is it okay to use the Two Crazy Ketos discount link for Keto Chow each time I buy? Absolutely. Sure. Just make sure you use the link down below. Okay, so little self-promoting. Use the link. If you just use the code, it doesn't benefit the channel at all, but when you use the link, that's what helps us out. That's what helps us pay for the amount of travel that we're doing this year, like going on the Keto Cruise and going to Omaha and going out to Utah and going to KetoCon.
It's a lot of plane tickets.
So lots of plane tickets and hotels. So most people don't know this, but when you go to speaking at all these events, or we go to conferences just to hang out with you guys,
it's not a paid.
They don't pay for any of that stuff. We have to pay for all of that out of our pocket. So it pays for our cameras and everything like that. So we greatly appreciate you guys when you use the links and become Patreons
and really all of the speakers like that. Like you think about how much travel Dr. Barry does to make sure he gets the message of keto out, and it's costing a lot of money for him to be in all these places. And I'm so glad that he feels like that is a valuable investment, and he's blessing so many people's lives, and I'm so thankful for him.
Yep. Maitreya said, we made a smoked pork butt before the ice started. So long as we have power in the morning, I will make stuffed buns.
Oh my gosh. I hope you have power in the morning, Maitreya.
Heather said, I did a round roast and a corned beef brisket this week. Both failed. I've lost my touch. You got it.
Oh, you got it.
Denise said, my husband is stuck in Memphis due to the storm.
So sorry.
Marie just ordered some Keto Chow minerals and electrolytes, but still love the Redmond Relight. So do we. We use it all.
Trust me, I was very, very excited on Tuesday to have my Redmond Relight lemon lime back in my life.
Okay, so happy. Here's a great one. Liz said, how many electrolytes do you guys take per day? I honestly couldn't tell you. We take when we feel like we need them. On average, pretty much everything that we drink has a squirt of Keto Chow electrolytes or a squirt of daily minerals. So I had to go to the keg store tonight and get my 5-pound thing of CO2 refilled.
I can't believe we've gone through that much. I even
bought another one because I can't believe it was empty. We're drinking that much homemade seltzer water, and I think we average 10 of those bottles a day. Every one of those bottles has 15 drops of the Keto Chow daily minerals that Dr. Barry designed. I drank 1 to 2 Redmond Relights, and then pretty much every liquid that I have also has a squirt of Keto Chow electrolytes in. Sometimes it's not even enough, and I usually will feel it the next day. And the longer you do this, the more you're going to get in touch with your body, and you're going to immediately know, I'm low on something. I told Rachel this morning, because Chris and Miriam were actually talking about on their live stream, how the place that I probably struggle the most is getting magnesium in.
Yes.
Because I don't think I'm getting enough magnesium just from using the Keto Chow drops and the Redmond, because I am pretty active, and you don't get a lot of magnesium in the foods you eat on keto. Magnesium a lot of times comes in foods that are not very keto friendly. And so I don't really like the taste of the Keto Chow magnesium drops.
But you got to just suck it up.
So I avoid them. And I know I'm low on magnesium because I've been getting lots of leg cramps at night. So that's something that I have to up. Ben said, I have a tough time with Keto Chow minerals. Still haven't gotten used to the taste. Put them in your food when you're cooking. I cook with them.
We put them in if we're making ground beef. If we're making scrambled eggs, we put them in there. I really like them a couple drops in the seltzer water because it just tastes like San Pellegrino to me and doesn't taste like ew.
Yeah.
It helps.
Reddy said, Keto said, I use Keto Chow electrolyte drops every day, but I just ordered the Redmond, hoping I love them. Thank you so much for responding.
Great pleasure.
Taste great. And again, if you do need some Redmond electrolyte drops, there's a link down below. And if you use the code 2crazyketos, you will get 15% off. Brandy said, I'm a Zip Fizz addict now thanks to you guys and Slapstick Keto for suggesting it.
It's delicious.
Rachel drinks one almost every single
Fruit
day.
punch
I have
is my
one
jam.
like every other day. The only thing about Zip Fizz is it's mostly potassium. You don't get a lot of your other electrolytes, and you need to make sure you got your sodium up and your magnesium up. And also, there is a couple of carbs in it, so we never do more than one in a day.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Aw, Pamela says our kitty is cute.
Teresa made Nisha's meatloaf. Added beef liver, about 1/4 cup. Didn't even taste it.
She is an amazing cook. If you've not had her keto cornbread, man, she's amazing.
Lashana said, I use the Redmond's Pina Colada, but I don't like the taste, so I use Ultimate Electrolytes with it.
That's nice.
That's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Just get it in. There's all kinds of ones out there, so get the flavor you like. LMNT, they have different flavors too. Maybe there's a flavor that you'd like in there.
Lisa said, hey Rachel, you're so kind and sweet to me.
You're the awesomest.
I need to go to Florida and make you some gizzards.
Lisa's is probably the only gizzards.
She won't eat them if I make them.
I'm not eating them from this gentleman, so I would probably only eat Lisa's.
Mike said, I've been collecting all the Keto Chuck confetti into a box over the last couple of years.
Oh my gosh, really, Mike? Oh my goodness. I would love to see a picture of how much confetti it is. That's so cool.
Penny said, been on keto a short time, and today I couldn't tell you what 1 + 1 was, and most nights ready for bed at 7. What am I missing? Electrolytes.
Yeah.
Again, we are not doctors or nurses or health professionals, but I'm going to tell you, chances are your electrolytes are low.
Yeah.
And also make sure you're getting enough fat. Fat's going to become ketones. Ketones is going to give you more cognitive function. So that's something like somebody actually messaged us about, they're like, I don't understand. My ketones are always at like a 0.3, which you're still in ketosis. Don't listen to people who say it's got to be a 0.5. If you're not eating carbohydrates, your body has no choice but to use fat for fuel. So just remember that. Some of us, our bodies just use the fat directly for energy. But then they said that when they add coconut oil to their coffee, their ketones go up. That's because coconut oil has MCTs, and MCTs will raise your ketones.
Yeah.
Higher ketones does not equate to more weight loss.
No.
Okay, so that's something to remember.
Renee says Keto Chow Magnesium is truly the best quality, and it shows. I completely agree. If you're looking to be knocked out in 10 minutes flat, I do a couple of the magnesium. If you squirt that, it's like you're out.
Yep. Teresa said Redmond's Relight 2 times a day and Keto Chow 1 time daily has made a huge difference in the way I feel.
You think it's such a little thing. It's electrolytes. You're like, how important could this be? Why are these nutballs always talking about electrolytes? It's because it's all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
It's all the difference in the world when you're starting keto you can completely avoid the keto flu. You can get somebody keto and them not have to be miserable for a couple days like we were when we first started. And then also as seasons change, it gets hotter, it gets colder. Your electrolytes mean the difference between good night's rest, not having all the cramps while we're sleeping, not feeling wonky if you're active. I mean, it's amazing what electrolytes do.
Matreya wants to know, HDR graphics through StreamYard or direct from OBS or through Restream? I'm actually not using any of those. I use something called an ATEM Mini Extreme, which is a switcher that allows me to have multiple cameras. But you can use it through anything. I don't know if you're doing OBS. If you send me an email, Matreya, I can help you set stuff up.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can do it. I've used it through Restream. We just stopped using Restream except for when we are actually going to bring in guests and stuff. That's where Restream really is great. If you're going to ask me what you should use out of all of them, I would always use Restream over StreamYard. I think Restream has a better platform. In fact, I was talking to the person who does all of our production for church, and our church uses it, and we're using it with multiple campuses. It doesn't go down. It's got so many cool features. I think Restream is 10 times better. Okay. Marie said, made it to the live. Hi, everyone.
Hi, beautiful.
You want to give away this other package?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Ready?
Yeah. Dun, da, da, da.
The winner is Victoria Wilson. So that's a black licorice, a red licorice, and a chocolate. So if you send me an email at joe@twocrazyketos.com, we will send that out.
Congratulations, Victoria.
Okay. How do we make Butterfinger? I have no idea.
Yeah, there's combinations of keto chow. I'm telling you right now, there's a couple of people like Shauna who is a mixologist.
Alexandria said Butterfinger is chocolate, toffee, and peanut butter.
There you go. You need a mixologist that really knows how to mix these. Mike is really good. Mike Mallet he knows his keto chow.
Blue Dove said, tell Steve he should lead a workshop on making the chicken noodles if he ever agrees to come to a keto event.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Jeannie said about 60 pounds of pork belly curing for bacon, another pork belly seasoned to cook like a brisket, and one pork belly with skin on to be cooked Asian with crispy skin on top.
Party at my Jeannie's house. I'm coming to that party.
We're gonna roll down towards the bottom.
That sounds delicious.
So, sorry, we're gonna skip a bunch of comments. Randy said, my wife has lost over 40 pounds. She is not as strict as I am, but eats mostly keto.
That is incredible. That is amazing success.
Becca said, my diet has been wretched this past month. I just haven't been interested in food. I finally have started to add beef to my diet and get enough protein.
I'm really proud of you, Becca.
See, Right Family said, I can't do carnivore, but my Chris can. And it's what is sustainable. If it's not sustainable, it's not going to last.
How's Chris's mom doing?
Wilma said, Rachel, you didn't lose any weight the last 6 months, but you've lost inches. That's even better.
That is so true. And I cannot stress enough how much you need community. Don't try to do this alone. And even with a partner encouraging you or eating the same way, sometimes I believe you guys over Joe. I get into my mind.
She never believes me.
That he is legally required to be nice to me. My kids are legally required to be encouraging to me. And they're just being nice, and that's not the truth. And sometimes you need other people outside of your own family. It actually helps more to have outside community to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
And you believe it more when it comes from a friend than sometimes when it comes from family.
Jacqueline said, ketovore is sustainable for me other than when social events come up. I live in Asia and everything has carbs.
I'm welcome. I'm so glad you're here.
Here's the thing, is you do the best you can.
Yeah.
90% is still better than what you were doing before.
Yeah.
Linda wants to know how often we make ice cream. So we pretty much only do keto chow ice cream at this point.
We've just got lazy.
Because I just don't want all of the other fillers and everything that are a lot of the store-bought ones. I think it tastes good. I like the fact that I can eat the entire container as opposed to if I was to buy something like Rebel, I can't. And
we eat it right away instead of it being on the counter for 30 minutes.
I would say we probably eat it 2 to 3 nights a week. Keto chow. Sometimes I eat a whole one. Like, was it last night or the night before? I ate a whole one. Rachel wanted a hot dog. I wanted a keto chow ice cream. I made it. A lot of times we make it and I cut it in half.
Where have we gotten?
Made it and I brought her half and she's like, I want hot dogs. Can you go make me 2 hot dogs? I'd rather have that.
Who is this woman? How would I start craving hot dogs?
Tim said I recently started eating meat for a meal for breakfast.
Hi, Blaine.
That's really good. Cynthia said switching things up is good for you. Going keto, then ketovore, then carnivore, then back, switching it up shocks the body. And that's something we talk about a lot, that like your body likes change. Renee said, I can't be trusted to have large containers of nuts.
Yeah.
Too many drive-bys, so I keep meat sticks all the time.
It's so smart it doesn't mean that we're not strong people. That's the thing. Dealing and facing my issues is what shows I'm a strong person. It doesn't, like, you're never going to get to the point where you never have a struggle with anything, but the fact that you can identify, like, this is not something that I should eat on the regular, I think is so smart, and I think it shows that we're strong.
Yep. Carnivore Granny said the only thing I snack on now after 15 months is bacon or jerky, and it seems that it only happens a couple of times a month in the evening.
Doesn't it get exciting when you're like, gosh, I'm not being bossed around by food anymore. This is so great.
Tanya said, I find it hard to find the balance between I lost weight incorporating protein-sparing modified fast, but I lose inches and no weight on BBBE. I struggle losing on just keto. I have to figure out my next steps carefully.
Yeah.
And again, it's, to me, inches in body recomposition is more important than the scale number. And that's a hard thing to get over.
It is.
But as I've said to Chris, I've said to you guys a lot of times, The Rock weighs about 270 pounds. I would love to look like The Rock, But that means that I have to be okay with weighing 80 pounds more than I do right now, or more actually, 85 pounds more than I do right now. Would I be okay with weighing 85 more pounds, but having like a 14% body fat composition and looking like him?
Yeah.
And that's something, you look at somebody like Crystal Sykes, she's rock solid muscle. But she probably weighs more than what most women want to weigh.
Yeah, because muscle is not nothing. Right. It doesn't weigh nothing.
Lisa said, Joe, you're notorious for being behind on comments. That's because we try to answer them all, and there's 384 people in here.
You caught me monologuing again.
Jamie said, I stopped weighing myself for a few weeks. It's just so discouraging, and oftentimes I just want to give up.
That's the thing too. I know, and I think we've talked enough about it, and I think if you're here tonight, chances are you understand that there is health success to be had, not just weight loss, but there's actually health success to be had on keto. So if weighing on the scale every day is an obstacle to me staying keto, and keto equates to health success, then I need to stay off the scale because I don't want to quit. I don't want to quit having health success, right?
Rana said, I just told this to a friend today. When I was younger, treats were defined as an occasional gratification. So was fast food. February is my start to identifying treats as an occasional indulgence.
That's great. That is really, really good.
Lori said another Dr. Berry thing. If you crave keto sweets, then think about eating an entire steak first.
Yes.
I've heard him repeat that umpteen times also. What he says does stick in my head.
Because it's true.
And that's something we tell people all the time. If you are snacky, eat an egg, eat bacon, eat a hot dog, eat sausage. What does Dr. Boz say? You're not hungry unless you can eat a can of sardines.
Right. Right? Not actually hungry.
I hate sardines. Hate them. But I know if I was hungry enough, I would eat those things.
Well, and also, if you're craving something sweet, before you cave, go eat some salt. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes you're thinking that you want something sweet.
It's actually the same brain mechanism.
And it's really salt. And so I've really used over time the Redmond salt licks, the little, big circle stones of salt, and licked on that, and that has helped to replace nighttime sweets.
Heather said, I totally think I've been under-consuming electrolytes. Up them this week, and so far,
That's good.
It's not going to hurt you to have more. Now, I actually answered a message from someone today. Can you over-consume electrolytes? Is it possible? Yes.
You proved it.
It's highly unlikely on keto because you have to constantly replace your electrolytes because your body isn't storing as much because you don't have the glycogen stores. But it's possible, but you're just going to pee them out.
Yeah.
So I did it once on a 72-hour fast, but I wasn't electrolytes. It was sodium.
Yeah.
I drank, I don't even know how many. I just wanted to have flavor. So I was taking Redmond organic seasoned salt and putting 2 teaspoons into a 16-ounce cup of hot water. And I drank like 20 of them in a day. And I gained a whole bunch of weight, like 6 pounds.
We weren't eating anything.
In a day. And I felt like garbage. And so I talked to Kim Howerton and Dr. Berry, and they're like, I want you to do me a favor and don't have any salt today. And I'm like, no salt on an extended fast? And they're like, don't have any salt. Just go drink a bunch of water. Within 12 hours,
gone.
It was all gone.
Yeah.
But what was the problem is I was consuming all of the salt with nothing else and not even drinking any water. I was basically drinking salt water and a lot of it.
Carmen says that sardines not my favorite, but I could hit Kipper snacks. No clue why. We tried Kipper snacks for the first time during one of those keto camping fear factors, and they're actually really good. I had never eaten Kipper snacks before keto, and I thought they were actually really good.
Yep. Lady Smith said someone made a suggestion of squirting the magnesium drops down the inside of a straw in a glass of water and quickly suck it down. It works. Yes, that's what Chris and Miriam do.
Yeah.
Renee said, I use the magnesium drops in all of my waters lately. I tried to do more of the daily minerals with all of the madness. Don't know if I can overdo it. Chris said 2 of the 5-pound tanks are easier to manage than 1 10-pound one. They have both at the store I went to. You actually don't want to use a 10-pound thing with the SodaStream because you'd need a regulator. So the SodaStream has a built-in regulator, but the 10-pound would give too much pressure. I've researched a lot on that. And they recommend don't use anything over a 5-pound container if you're modifying your SodaStream the way we did.
Miriam sent me a picture of the setup in their cabinet of their SodaStream with the thing, and she's hidden it.
I know.
It's very beautiful.
We don't have a good cabinet over the top that
it's
will fit.
Gorgeous.
We will when I redo our kitchen.
I'm gonna bedazzle that thing.
Step 1, kill the termites.
Okay.
Step 2, redo our kitchen.
I like
and
where we're going.
I will put a cabinet over where that's going to be that I can drill a hole in the brand new cabinet and have the tube going up.
Okay.
Okay.
All
Step
right.
1.
Wait, seal it, stamp it.
Step 1, we have to kill the termites,
okay.
which means we all have to be out of the house for a week and figure out what we're going to do with all our food.
And animals.
Noah's
Ark.
Purple Lady said, have you guys or anyone else tried the new Perfect Keto sleep stuff? Is it coconut tasty smell? Does it help?
Yes, that is. Are you talking about the new collagen? I like the Mexican hot chocolate flavor more than the coconut one that they had. The coconut one, it was like with what's that? No, it's not. I want to say tarragon. It's not that. It is
turmeric.
Turmeric. It's turmeric. So it's like a yellowy curry looking color. And I was not a huge fan of that. I like the Mexican hot chocolate one. It was much more tasty.
Yeah. Tracy said the ketones in your blood are the ketones your body hasn't used yet. If you are not eating carbs, you are in ketosis. That is so true. And we've said, and here's the thing. I like it when people eat and then they test their ketones about an hour or 2 hours later and they're like, why did it go down? Because you just gave your body fuel. So it uses up the ketones it's got because it's going to use ketones over the added fuel. If you're going to test your ketones, test them once a day, midday. Don't test first thing in the morning because you got to worry about the dawn phenomenon, and test before you eat.
Remember, we did a video.
We did a video. I was reviewing the new Keto Mojo, and we ate a complete keto meal.
Totally
and we show
keto.
Your ketones will go down after you eat, even if you're just eating burgers and eggs.
So, because sometimes people were...
But it doesn't mean you're not in ketosis.
A lot of people would say, like, I ate this and it knocked me out of ketosis. Well, like, that's why we did it, where it was like, we ate hamburger and it knocked us out of ketosis. No, it didn't.
Yeah. If you really need to have high ketones, drink some MCT oil, or take some exogenous ketones. Is it going to help you lose any more weight? No. But it'll make you happy that you have a high ketone number.
Yeah.
Got some more news for you. This one will really go over well. You can eat 500 calories a day of pure sugar and still be in ketosis if that's the only thing you're eating.
Because you're in a starvation mode.
Because your body, you're going to go through the 500 calories of sugar, and then your body's like, now what? Okay, I got to go to the fat.
Yeah.
But again, is that healthy? No.
No.
Sylvia said, I went shopping this morning and bought some new shirts, and now I'm wearing a large. I haven't worn a large since I was 14 years old.
Way to go,
next month.
Sylvia, that's so awesome.
Let's see. Linda said, I bought the Chef's Blend, but went back to the site and ordered the Hickory before they got sold out.
I think that was smart.
We talked to the owner the other day, and he said he thought they had enough for several months, and he anticipated being sold out by the end of the week.
Yeah.
Lori said, I've not had an entire pack of keto chow to be able to make a full shake yet. I plan to. Maria said, I love keto chow ice cream. It tastes way better than that stuff in the stores.
You know what, Lori? Send your address to Joe at 2 Crazy Ketos.
You can send her 3 chocolates.
And I'm going to send you 3 chocolates, girl. Coming your way.
Let's see. Chris said, I've never tried a flavor that doesn't work, including the savory flavors. They make hamburger buns or pizza crusts.
Oh,
wow. Okay. Let's see. Adrian said, I added too much beef gelatin to my keto chow. I now have pudding. It's still good, though.
It is good. We've done that, too. And, like, the constant, like, how thick is too thick?
Yeah.
We found out that, too.
Renee said, I gotta say, tomato basil keto chow is my favorite savory flavor. Mine
Super
too.
versatile.
I don't use the beef very often. Tomato basil and creamy chicken. I love drinking the creamy chicken, and then we also add it to our bread because it completely changes the texture. And tomato basil, sloppy joes, chili, just ground beef, pretty much anything. It adds such a great flavor, and it tastes good when you drink it.
Yeah.
But to me, they all need more salt, though. McCabe said, I used to eat diabetic donuts for breakfast. Now I'm 7 months and lost 50 pounds and I eat egg and bacon every day.
Wow.
My vitamin D shot way up and my triglycerides are cut to 65.
Way to go.
Juju said, my number 2 behind the Hulk, the OG player. I would lose my mind as a grown adult if I ever bumped into Terry or Dwayne.
Oh, because you like
The Rock.
The Rock. And did you say Terry Crews too? Because I'm in love with him. I'm straight up in love with him.
Lisa said, I love sardines. That makes an awesome snack for me. Ugh, you can have them.
You just don't like any type of, I mean, it's hard. It's a hard sell for you anytime we want like, seafood.
Alexandria said, fresh sardines on the grill are amazing. Okay. Lady Smith said, I guess I'm trusting the process. Don't record or track or use any meters. Ugh, decades of tracking. I'm so over it.
I hear ya.
Okay, we are going to get off because Rachel has to get up at 4 a.m.
Well, no, earlier than that. I'm actually going to leave the house here at 3:30 in the morning to make it to Michelle's house, and then we're driving up to the Panhandle.
So we're going to have an interesting vlog for the next 2 days. We're going to vlog separately.
Yeah.
And then turn it into one vlog. That'll be fun to edit.
I'll see if you miss me. You think?
Oh, yeah. I don't usually sleep when you're not home.
Oh,
so
well,
I'll get a lot of work done.
I put new sheets on the bed. We got new sheets at Costco for $15, and it's nice and pretty for you.
Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. Now, don't forget, we will have Keto on the Couch on Monday, live at 10 a.m. If you can't join us live, it will just be on a replay, and that's why we do it that way. And we just address the chat later on in the afternoon. Now, again, we appreciate everybody for being a channel member. If you're a Patreon, if you're just watching us, we appreciate any way you like to support us. Make sure you hit the like on this. Share it with your friends. Help us grow. Help us reach more people.
We love
Have a good night, guys. Bye.